It's time, ladies and gents, about to spit about some film reels. Copping the field to seal the deal of what the films reveal. Batman, Superman, even Spider-Man compare to fare against each other, tearing apart the plots that they prepare. But these are just a few examples for the task at hand. On demand with cinematic contraband to shock the fans. To preach the theme, title, film, eat film. Tis the keen regime for cinema guillotines to rock my rhyme kiln.
Welcome back, Movie Munchers! We are in our third battle of the first round of this tournament, and it's going to be a good one for you. It's going to be so good that we even have an in-studio audience.
Woo!
Yeah.
Peanut Gallery.
What's going on? The Peanut Gallery. We got Colin Wells and Royce Brackett, who also went earlier tonight. They decided to stick around to see and hear the battle of the Titans that is going to be Trace, the Toolman Patchen, and Franco that I just met. So I don't have a nickname for him yet, but I will.
James Franco.
Franco James Franco. I like it.
The Toolman's the best
Original.
nickname yet.
Oh man, I got another one the other day. I was wearing a pink polo, so I got called Cool Dad. I like that too.
That's pretty legit. That's pretty legit. I'll be your host, Ben Siski. So we did a coin flip backstage like always, and Franco had the cooler shirt because he donated to charity. Already got a point written down for him.
I'm a force for change.
He's a force for change.
Man, you're so cool.
And Trace is wearing a dumb shirt with the thing on it, so I got negative a point already for him.
Frick.
Yeah. All right, so we're just gonna get right into it, everyone. Franco is going first, and right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Because I wanted last rebuttal.
You did. All right. So, Franco, I'm going to put 3 minutes on the clock. You just let everyone know the topic and your movie, and go.
The topic is Best Jim Carrey Film, and I picked Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Now, Trace picked The Truman Show, which is one of my favorite Jim Carrey films, but my actual favorite Jim Carrey film is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Why? This film is unique from start to finish. The look of it, the way it's put together, I mean, it chooses to tell a story in like an unorthodox way. And the themes of it, it's love, kind of love conquers all. Truman Show, it's good, but it's standard Jim Carrey. It's Jim Carrey in a serious funny role, but this is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is Jim Carrey full actor going indie, small film, I'm going for it role. And he's given so much to work with. And as an audience member, it's so unique viewing this movie compared to his other works of film that it's just, I'm blown away. And it's not just him. I mean, you get, what's her name? Kate Winslet. You get the British guy who's in everything, who's the doctor. And the story is, they forget their memories because they loved each other and love hurts, but they end up falling in love again anyway. And it's just... it's inspiring in a way that, if it's true love, it's true love, and you'll be together no matter what. And that's what's really cool. But the storytelling and all overall in the time period, it's early 2000s, and you can't quite place it, but it's just unique from start to finish. But Truman Show, it's Jim Carrey in a serious role, but still comedic, so we're used to it. We are seeing Jim Carrey in Spotless Mind in a totally unique element. The story is just different, and I just can't emphasize that enough. I mean, we've seen him be funny. He's a funny guy in real life when he gets in interviews and in his films. But Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, while there are funny moments, it's so serious, it's shocking. But it's a highly enjoyable film, and yeah, I don't know how much time I got left. I'm going to end it there.
All right, sounds good. Cut you off here. Trace, you've got yourself 3 minutes. Just let everyone know what movie you picked. I'm sure they already know, but go for it.
All right, for Best Jim Carrey Film, I picked The Truman Show. Came out in 1998, directed by Peter Weir and written by Andrew Nichols. This is a movie that is actually a very big departure from Jim Carrey's wheelhouse, being as it is his first ever dramatic role to date at this time, because everything prior to this was actually the film prior to this directly was Liar Liar, and the film prior to that, while they were filming this film, was Ace Ventura 2. So he's never dived into something of this magnitude as a role, and as as much weight that was carried on it. Actually, director Peter Weir's first choice, bar none, for the role of Truman Burbank. But some of the themes in the movie are just tons of different themes. We got religious themes overall, overcoming fear, and the perception and manipulation of media in general, which is essentially the whole structure of the film. And utopia, this perfect world built specifically for Truman, a man who has no control over really his destiny. And the biggest theme, which is what I'm going to tie into why I think Jim Carrey is at his best here, is the pursuit of human free will. Truman Burbank is a man that no matter how much fear they install into him, that they manipulate to give him, no matter how hard they manipulate his overall life, he's almost destined to become this true man that he's supposed to be. I mean, it's in his name right there. The amount of control that no amount of control can change true love, can change the sense of adventure that the character has, or the will to be the person he is meant to be. And that's what happens in this movie. And that's why I think Jim Carrey was a perfect pick, because he's jumping into this dramatic role and he's embodying this character. He's giving it the performance that you see Jim Carrey. He's giving it layers, and that's the biggest takeaway from this movie, is that you're seeing Jim Carrey with more layers than you have seen previously. He's doing dramatic scenes. He's doing some of his comedy bits. He's also doing improv, which is something he is great at. And something the director originally just didn't want him to do, but once you get Jim Carrey in your movie, you're gonna have to let him do his thing at least a little bit. So you're getting a layered character, and you're getting a movie that is centered specifically around the performance of Jim Carrey. If he fails in this movie, everything falls. I mean, you get some good performances out of other actors in this movie, but it is the Truman Show, the Jim Carrey show, and that's why I think this is his best picture overall. Not to mention he got a Golden Globe for this role, and he was giving nominations for a ton of other roles. And Siskel and Ebert actually apologized to Jim Carrey on air because they panned his overall film career after seeing Ace Ventura 2, and then saw this movie and said, "Never mind, we were mistaken. We love your acting abilities." So I'll stop it there.
All right. You guys know the drill now. You are each going to have 2 minutes to rebuttal what the other person said. So, Franco, I'm coming to you. You've got 2 minutes. Go for it.
I'm going to sort of disagree with Trace's perception of The Truman Show. While it relies heavily on Jim Carrey, the strength in that film is the script and the story it's presenting. You're looking at that whole film as just the conspiracy of the world's been manipulated of this main character. Now, it is Jim Carrey and we're getting some great golden moments, but the movie will stop and go outside the world and focus on other characters. Now, they're not the main characters, but it stops full center. Now, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind has other characters that the film focuses on too, but it's all part of the grander scheme of Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is completely indie film, like underground, like Jim Carrey. You can't even tell it's Jim Carrey. It's him just being full deep in this role, and it's what's great about that movie is Kate Winslet, Jim Carrey pour so much of themselves. You can't tell they're acting. Their characters are so extreme and interesting, and they're just almost like lost puppies. They're finding their own way, and you find out by the end of it that it was all sort of predetermined, but it's luck. I mean, the emphasis on that movie is that true love. It's a true love story. In Truman Show, there's a true love element to it, but in my opinion, it's more of like coming to his own about a character. I mean, he doesn't know who he is because his whole life's a lie. Everything about him. They probably made him the quarterback jock or the band geek, but regardless, his whole life has been manipulated, where he sort of did, have a sort of infatuation or love for a girl he met once who was an extra on the show in the context of the Truman Show, but he's trying to find who he is, and the whole strength of that film is it's the ensemble and the concept and the design of the world, versus Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is specifically the whole thing is different from start to finish with his acting, his performance, everything he puts into it, and his supporting cast too. I mean, two great films. This is an opinion thing, obviously,
Yeah.
but
Cutting you off there. Definitely two good films. It's tough. But Trace, you've got 2 minutes for your rebuttal.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so competing against something like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, I'm going to go back and I guess disagree with you also, because I think that the Truman Show solely is weighted on Jim Carrey's performance. Yeah, you can have a great script and a great, director, but it still falls when a movie is held up by a character that the movie is, essentially named after. It's the Truman Show. It is his show. Everyone is watching his life, and everybody is sitting there watching his performance, which I think is, if you go back and you look at his previous films and said, this is a guy that's going to be actually a fantastic dramatic actor, 2 years later, that's insane. That's crazy. Even some of the top critics even, changed their thoughts on that. Not to mention, like I said before, your larger ensemble cast. I mean, yeah, Jim Carrey gives a great performance in Eternal Sunshine, but he wasn't even really recognized about it. Kate Winslet stole the movie for the most part. She even got the Oscar nom for the film. And there's so much more characters, like you said, in that film that are doing other things than just Jim Carrey. Now, if we're talking Jim Carrey as embodying the character, but giving you some of Jim Carrey, like I said earlier, with the layer performance, you're getting the improv from him. You're getting the tenderness and the care for this character. You want him to succeed, and he comes full circle because all of that manipulation that Christoph, Ed Harris's character, is doing, it ends up meaning nothing because he still becomes who he's supposed to be. He still escapes this false reality that they set up for him, and he still becomes the person he wants to be. And it's just it's a beautiful arc for the character. It's a beautiful performance from somebody who nobody thought could do something like that. So I just really think that this is, bar none, the best overall Jim Carrey film that we have to offer. So leave it at that.
All right. That's about 2 minutes anyway, so... All right, great first round. Just give me a minute, and I will let you all know who the winner is here.
Crack that door open, would you?
All right, round one in the books. Before I announce who the winner was, how do you guys think you did, Franco?
I think arguing with Trace made me realize how much I love The Truman Show. So I think I probably could have done better, but I mean, I just like The Truman Show a lot. So
it's tough.
Yeah,
They're both really
it's
good
a tough
movies.
argument. I mean, I liked what I had, but I probably could have thrown on a few more facts. But that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, I kind of felt the same way, which is why Trace, I did award you the winner of the first round. The thing is, you guys both did a pretty good job at explaining the themes. You guys definitely made them present in your arguments. There's no doubt about that, and I think you both did a really good job at letting us know that Jim Carrey certainly can branch out from his normal comedic roles. And I think that both these movies definitely show that. So it's tough. Essentially, I feel like you guys were pretty much just arguing the same movie, just with different...
It's tough.
A different theme,
Yeah.
exactly.
It really is.
So, because of that, I have to nitpick, because I really don't like going to a tiebreaker when I don't want to. And because of that, and because Trace did use all of his time, you won. Anyways, good first round. I think that'll definitely kickstart things here. So we'll go right into round two. I'll get the timer started. Trace, you get to go first this round. So why don't you go ahead and just let everyone know the theme, your movie, and you've got 3 minutes. Go for it.
All right, so the category we have is Best Scarlett Johansson Film, and the film that I pick is
Jungle
Lost. Yeah, Lost in Translation, a 2003 film directed and written by Sofia Coppola. This is one of my favorite films. It's actually in my top 50 whenever we get to that. But the reason why I picked this movie is because it's almost literally a poetic film in the sense that you get two totally different people that connect to each other because they're both literally lost in many ways, because they're lost in their lives, they're lost in their relationships with other people, and they're lost in the very foreign location of Tokyo that they're essentially trapped in. The only thing important to them is that it's just a small moment of connect between the two leads, which is Scarlett Johansson and Bill Murray. And that connection that they share is such... it's realistic, but it's a brief time, and it's just painted beautifully because there's not a lot of weight laying on the story overall. I mean, it's a pretty direct story of two people having to connect with the only people that they have available. But director Sofia Coppola uses the actors in their physical on-screen chemistry and their physical on-screen chemistry to emit these emotions without words at times. I mean, she uses long shots on them just looking at each other, which I think, as much as Bill Murray is fantastic in this movie, I mean, he got an Oscar nom, I do believe, for this movie as well. It's the mentioned Scarlett Johansson that just really steals it for me. As I mentioned in my first argument, essentially with Jim Carrey, it's one of those defining turns as an actress in this movie. She's radiant. She embodies the role. And before this, she was really, I mean, what did we know her for from before this? Home Alone 3, and Eight-Legged Freaks were the movies she was in before this. So she didn't really have a lot of things going for her. And then you see her in a movie like this, and she blows you away. I do believe she got like a Golden Globe nod or some kind of undercard award nomination for her appearance in this, which is the first time she was nominated for anything. And it really proves that herself and this movie overall is just a force to be reckoned with. It paved her as an actress into one of today's leading actresses, and it really rejuvenated Bill Murray's career, as well as put Sofia Coppola on the map of being, keeping the family, directing lineage afloat, because she did a fantastic job. This is only her second film ever. So overall, this movie is just out of the park. 7.8 on IMDb, 95% on Rotten Tomato, 89 score on Metascore. So it's did what it had to do.
All right, stop you there. All right, Franco, you've got 3 minutes. Just let us know what movie you picked and go for it.
The film I picked is The Island. Now, this is a Michael Bay 2005 sci-fi action film. It stars Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson with Sean Bean, who's the villain in this case. Now, when I first saw this film, it blew me away. I mean, I was younger, so I wasn't as much of a film critic, but the two leads, they have great chemistry. They're likable in every way. It's a sci-fi story about cloning and clones having their organs harvested and taken away from them and stuff like that. Scarlett Johansson shines here. I mean, you get lost in translation, yes. Then she does a couple years of doing nothing, and then boom, she shows up again in a cool Michael Bay film, The Island. And from there, maybe 2 or 3 years later, she's the Black Widow, and in The Island, we see her as a heroine, we see her as a victim, a normal person. She's in so many roles because this sci-fi story calls for the characters to be in so many roles. They're running from people trying to catch them. They're going on the offensive. They have little light moments. They have tender moments and serious moments all in one. So you get a full action story with sci-fi, and people always groan, "Oh, Michael Bay, Michael Bay." You don't know this is a Michael Bay film for the first 25 minutes because it's so honed in. The film is so focused on telling this sci-fi story, and then after that half-hour mark, boom, it goes full throttle action mode, which is fun. You have the balance of the two. But I mean, you're arguing right now between a quiet character story and a fun, cool action film. But my point is, the Scarlett Johansson we know today now, she can do these awesome character, quiet moments and just be a cool actress. But we also know her from being in these awesome action films, the Marvel movies, and we see glimpses of Black Widow coming out in this film. So it's a home run. People don't want to admit it, but I mean, it's got a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes, but 64 audience review, and just people who aren't too nitpicky about Michael Bay directing Michael Bay films enjoy this movie. So it's just good stuff. But I mean, it's co-starring between Scarlett Johansson and Ewan McGregor. He does really cool things too. They're also each playing two different characters. They're playing clones, and they're also playing the real people themselves. Now, her actual character doesn't get a whole lot of time, but you see the clones feel bad because the reason why they get called up to be harvested is the real people that they're clones of are in danger or they're sick or something and they need the clone's body parts to live. Now, she has this moment where she's like, that person, she's going to die because she's not going to get my organs, and she's kind of conflicted. I mean, obviously she wants to live, but it's a moment that it's just so light, and then it's like, well, we want to live, so tough. But it's a cool moment in this action film. So we get the small character bits, and then we get the action heroine badassness of it. So,
all right. Stop you there. Some pretty solid arguments, boys. Cool. We're going to go right into the rebuttals. So, Trace, 2 minutes.
Sounds good.
Floor's yours.
All right. I don't usually like doing this, but I'm going to go to numbers for this. Sorry, man. The Island has a 6.9 on IMDb, a 50 on Metascore, 40% overall on Rotten Tomato, and the movie hardly made its money back overall. As far as Michael Bay films go, his movies are usually pretty decently big summer blockbusters. This one was unfortunately not. And as much as she does different things in the film, it really boils down to her character not really being 100% essential overall. I mean, they are clones, but yeah, I mean, I just don't feel like, in comparison to my film, which is essentially centered around her and Bill Murray's character, in a much more deeper way than this film can do. And I don't think it shows the range that, mine was a little quieter, but it doesn't show the range of what she can do or the actors in play could do, because you have two essentially Oscar-worthy actors in a movie that's pretty much just one-lines here and there. So it doesn't show her range, and a lot of the story of your film is taking from a lot of old 80s films like THX 1183 and Logan's Run, which I think did it better than what your film has done. Not to mention, the movie was forgotten about by a lot of people because Michael Bay went back to the movie, recycle footage from it and use it in Transformers movies, which people watch more, which is kind of I think, mistake on his part. But you said chemistry as the lead actors, and I don't think there's a movie more demonstrating than two leads' chemistry than Lost in Translation. It shows them just bonding, two people that essentially in normal life would not. And that's why this is the movie that defined her as an actress. You can say that she's become an actor, an action star now, but it's not The Island that defined her as an action star. It's the Avengers movie. Whereas,
and her butt.
Huh?
And her butt.
And her butt. In the opening scene of Lost in Translation. You can watch it. But Lost in Translation really put her on the map as an actress and displayed why she is an A-lister. So, and why Bill Murray needed rejuvenation as a serious actor. So.
All right, stop you there. Franco, 2 minutes, rebuttal. Go for it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Good start.
I think I think your film comes out in 2003, and I mean, it's a 2-year difference, but, it takes a while for her to get into the Avengers films. I mean, we're talking about, she is this star now, and we got, either she became a star in Lost in Translation, or she became a star on The Island. I'm saying we get the bits of her becoming, her who she is now in The Island. She doesn't become a full movie star in Lost in Translation, because the next year she's not doing 50 movies a year. I mean, obviously that's unrealistic, but my point is that both of our films, she's becoming the star who we know her as now. Bill Murray being himself in a film, he's like playing an actor who is just like on downtime, who sort of hangs out with this girl who's way younger than him, who is really good looking, and then it's just kind of weird. I don't know. It works. It works because it's creepy, and it's like, no, I don't think so. I mean, it's The Island. You get a full package. You get an action film. Yeah, you get a summer blockbuster, and I thought it was cool that Michael Bay reused the footage for Transformers 3. If anything, he's like, this is a really dangerous stunt, and I'm just gonna reuse the footage that I have and make it into a new film. But we're talking about Scarlett Johansson. She is good in this film. The chemistry, probably not as like creepy as the Bill Murray chemistry, but like it's what's neat about the island is they're so innocent because they're clones. They're almost like children. But then they grow up a little bit, and they're kind of like teenagers on that cusp of kids, children, to oddly adults. But the clones are only like 2 and 4 years old, even though they're full adults. You get a lot with the island. It is a Michael Bay film, but it's so damn cool. It's sci-fi. It's action. You can see her becoming who she is. In Lost in Translation, she's still like a kid. This is her before she dyed her hair red. You know, this is like.
She's legal, though.
Yeah, that's what I got to say.
Stop you there. So, what year was The Island?
2005.
That's what I thought. Okay. Where was Perfect Score in this? When did that come out?
It was actually
2006 or 7.
Yeah, it was.
I think it was 2006. I'm willing to bet like.
Yeah, I think you're right.
$5,000.
We don't have a fact check.
5,000.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, Oh, that's actually a good point. Thank you, Trace. Great second round. Give me a minute.
2006.
I have to think about this. Tally some stuff up. All right, round 2. Tallied. Winner is chosen. But it was way harder than the first round. As hard as that is to say, 'cause the first round was pretty tough. But Trace, what do you think?
I thought I did pretty good.
You did?
I feel pretty comfortable.
You think you did well enough that you won?
I'd say so.
What do you think, Franco?
I think Lost in Translation sucks.
Oh.
No. I to be honest, I've never seen it, so I
Yeah.
can't. It's hard to compare something you've never seen. But I really love The Island, and I think if anything, I defended the film to give it an accurate, like, hey, it's pretty good.
And I don't hate the movie either. I just.
Well, here's what I thought. I thought you guys both put up pretty good arguments, and I liked this round better than the first round because you both kind of argue different things. So Trace, you're arguing that it's a real poetic film, and it doesn't really portray Scarlett Johansson how she is now, but it definitely was one of her breakaway films, and I do like that you gave credit to the director as well, because, I mean, that's always helpful and whatnot, but Bill Murray's Bill Murray, you know what you're going to get from him. And Franco, I do like how you did mention, you know, there's multiple roles in the island. You know, it's not just one thing over and over. With Lost in Translation, personally, this is my opinion, I do think it's a good movie, but sometimes it can be hard to just kind of pay attention to because it is very, very slow, where it's way different than The Island. It's way different than what you're going to get with a Michael Bay movie, and I'm a fan of Ewan McGregor as well. But when all is said and done, you can't argue with the numbers that Trace put out and the facts there that the ratings are better and the cast, same. I mean, you could argue either movie, but I gave Trace the slight edge on this. I did give him the win. Just because, like I said, when it comes down to it, Lost in Translation, more people are aware of him. In my opinion, I think more people are aware of that movie. I think more people have seen that movie than The Island. I'm not trying to discredit that.
No, and
by any means.
You brought more to the island than I was anticipating.
Yeah, definitely. When I heard that was your movie, I was like, okay.
That's what I said. I'm like, all right.
But I think what you said was perfect, where you definitely defended it very, very well.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I'm gonna watch it now.
But Lost in Translation is one of those movies where, like, there's a lot of people that have seen it, and it is a really good movie, and the numbers speak for itself. And for a movie that is that high on lists, that high on the numbers, and still barely made any money, it is pretty amazing. But anyways, enough of round 2. Let's move right into round 3. And I believe Franco gets to go first. So we'll put a fresh 3 minutes. I'm excited for this round.
This is gonna be the toughest round.
This is gonna be a good one. So
hands down.
Scared.
I'm scared. Dude,
why don't you go ahead and tell everybody what the topic is and give us your movie, and you got 3 minutes.
The topic is most overrated film of all time.
Of all time.
Now, you could pick obviously dozens of films for this argument. I chose to go with a more recent film from 2014, Boyhood. Now, Boyhood, oh god, I'm not a fan of this film from start to finish. Now, it was overhyped for sure, but the actual film itself, there is nothing special about this film except the fact that it took 12 years to make. The story is very generic. I mean, if you were telling this story without the time lapse, it wouldn't be special. And that is the whole point. Oh, it took 12 years to make. But, like, the kid is cool when he's, like, 12. Once he becomes a teenager, he's completely unwatchable. And, you know, it's luck of a draw. You're picking a young kid for this ambitious, never-done-before project. Yeah, I get that, but you didn't get the winning hand in this case because his face, everything about him, just his deliverance on the lines, and some of this is done completely on purpose on how everyone in this film's telling him what to do and how to act and how to live his life. His parents, his teachers, his parents are split up, so he has multiple stepfathers and father figures in his life, as well as his dad, who's played by Ethan Hawke, who's great in the film. That's the thing. There are some, like Patricia Arquette won an Oscar for this film. I don't know why, but she won an Oscar for this film. Ethan Hawke playing a cool dad. He's a cool dad, but like he's also like not in the picture at all because parents split up because like they hate each other because that's what all life is like. Whatever. Just this whole film, there's nothing unique about it except the fact that it took 12 years to make. The story's just whatever. But like I was saying before, I kind of went on a rant there. Everyone's telling this kid what to do with his life. Someone smarter than me said, like, yo, like, it's cool because, like, that's what life is. And then, like, once he becomes an adult, once he's 18, he has to make his own choices. And I'm like, no, because he ended up being just, like, a punk, like a ton of other kids. I don't know. He's not even a punk. He's, like, a whiny, hipster, emo kid. I take pictures. And, like, at the end of it, like, do you want to get high? He's like, sure, I'll get high. Like, he's just saying sure the whole time. It's, like, versus Trainspotting, it's good. Like, now that movie creeped me out. The first time I watched it, I felt sick. I'm like, I need to take a shower. I don't feel good, man. And, like, once it was over, I'm like, this is really, really good. And I thought about, like, the story, the characters, the edits. The characters are despicable. Like, whatever. But there's a point where, I hate watching self-destructive characters. But Ewan McGregor, who also stars in this film, there's a certain point where he stops being self-destructive and he tries to, like, start to better his life. That's when you can get on his side. That's when you can empathize. And it starts to become like, I'm on this guy's side. It's cool. We're in it to win it. Trainspotting is unique. It might not be everyone's film. Boyhood sucks. Like, it just, the reviewers went nuts over it. It's just so overrated. I hate this film. I don't know how much time.
All right, that's 3 minutes. You're good. You're good. We'll reset that. Trace 3 minutes. I think Franco did.
Yeah.
Good number for you, but there you go. 3 minutes.
All right, so my film, obviously, you said it is Trainspotting. Came out in '96. Danny Boyle directed it. Big overarching theme is obviously addiction. And I mean, this is a hard topic to pick from. All time is a big thing, so it seems like we kind of grounded it a little bit by picking one that we personally just dislike more than anything. And the reason I dislike this movie is something you actually said about it, is because the characters, in my opinion, are just complete rubbish. They are dislikable, just disgusting human beings. And to watch a movie, I mean, yeah, it's about addiction and their struggle with it, but to watch a movie that literally it keeps getting worse, and as much as Renton, which is Ewan McGregor's character, tries to get out of it, he keeps falling back into these same it almost gets worse each time, and he does something shitty after one shitty thing after another, and it's just something you can't get back behind these characters. I can't feel any emotions for them because I just hate them. These are people that I would never, ever in my life talk to. And they try making them seem cool, too. They try giving them these cool guy vibes, and they try giving them this, I don't know, swag a little bit, but they're they're just garbage people. I mean, obviously, you have to mention the baby scene, where they're just so into their heroin ways that they kill this baby because it gets a hold of their heroin, dies, and their only response is to do more heroin. And I get the whole addiction thing to a degree. Obviously, I've never been addicted to heroin, but I get it to a certain point. But I mean, it just really makes, like, at that point, I watched it again today because I said I'd give it another chance for Scott, and I watched it again today. And at that point, I pretty much checked out of the movie again. Just didn't want to care. Didn't want to watch any more of it. It looks nice. It's very indie. It's very what it's supposed to be. But that baby scene took me out of it. The characters and how they're written took me, how they're displayed took me out of it. And I just feel like maybe a little bit more empathy could have been given in, say, that scene, or just really to the characters overall, because that's who we're following through this movie. But yeah, I mean, the reason why I think it's overrated while I have some time is because this movie, as kind of independent and cultish it sits at 155 on IMDb's top 250. It's been nominated for Oscars and won a BAFTA. And it's considered by many as Danny Boyle's best work, best film. And it has a sequel coming, which I don't know why. I don't want to see that. But it's
Train Spotted.
It's called T2, Train Spotting 2. That's literally what it's called.
Yes.
So I don't know. It's got 8.2 on IMDb, 83 Metascore, 90% on Rotten Tomato. It's got a lot. It made a lot of money too.
Finish your thought.
But honestly, it's way overrated.
Alrighty. Well, pretty solid arguments.
I think you're good. I mean, they're a little bit more contained than explosive.
Yeah, it's like we're not
It's
arguing
such a
Citizen
hard-
Kane. Like,
Yeah,
almost,
you could have
yeah.
brought Citizen Kane. I could have brought Godfather. We could have
Yeah.
had some fireworks, but I like those movies. So
yeah.
All right. Well, rebuttal time. Franco, you got 2 minutes. Go for it.
I guess to counter a lot of stuff with Trainspotting, I mean, this is just going to be a perception thing.
Sure.
You're supposed to be, like, disgusted and stuff, and I think towards the end of Trainspotting, it turns into a little bit of a heist film,
It does.
and that's where it's like, okay, cool, like, I'm in it, and the character of Ewan McGregor's playing is trying to turn his life around, and his shitty friends are, like, keep dragging him down, and in some way, hopefully we don't have heroin friends, all of us, but like we have friends who are just kind of there being friends and kind of maybe have us stick to bad habits or just are being there when we don't need them there in a way that Ewan McGregor is kind of trying to break away from these friends, these junkies, so to speak. But just to hammer home, Boyhood it was overwhelmingly like, this is awesome, and it was nominated for a billion Oscars, didn't end up winning, but the hype train was there. I mean, it was like Boyhood and Birdman, but I mean, I think almost the difference between Trainspotting and like you have something like Trainspotting, which as gross and depressing as it is, it's awkwardly fun and interesting. You have that movie, or you have Requiem for a Dream, which just you literally curl up in a ball afterwards when you watch that film. So I think between the two, I'd rather pick Trainspotting, but it does a lot of unique things. The cuts, the edits, the surrealism, like the almost dreamlike state Ewan McGregor's in, like when he drops the pill or whatever in the toilet, the drugs. Yeah. That's absolutely revolting, but like it was so trippy. I'm like, I was disgusted. It was like a car crash you can't look away from. Like, I need to keep watching this movie. It was mesmerizing. I don't know why it's getting a sequel, but I'm gonna watch it. Like, I don't know why, but I'm in. Boyhood. If they made a sequel to Boyhood, oh my god! Like,
Adulthood.
No, oh god, no.
Teenager.
No, Boyhood sucks. That's where I'm gonna leave it there. So.
All right, stop you there, Trace.
All
2
right.
minutes.
Let's
Go
do
for it.
And yeah, some of the things you pointed out about my movie are accurate. I mean, especially on my second time watching it today, there are redeeming qualities to the movie. I mean, it's not like we both have to necessarily hate these movies.
Yeah.
It's overrated. So it's like, yeah, there's redeeming qualities in it. It's shot pretty well. I give Danny Boyle props, but I think there's better films that he has out there. 28 Days Later. But when you're fighting up against Boyhood, a lot of things you say are true, but if you know Richard Linklater, the director of your film, you know what kind of film you're kind of getting into, because, yeah, look at his movies. He's got movies that are pieces that don't have an overarching character arc, essentially. Not necessarily. Some of them might, some of them don't. But they're pieces of time. They're moments in lives, and that's what this project was. Why it took so long is because he wanted to embody the growth of this boy to a man, and I think it's an ambitious project. It's never been done before, like you said, and there has to be at least some redeeming qualities out of that alone. But yeah, like I said, and overall, I think it's more relatable than Trainspotting. Like you said, not all of us are heroin junkies, so like, but all of us go through childhood and into adulthood, so there's some relatabilities there. So yeah, I mean, I mean, there's not a whole lot more to say because that's pretty much hitting the nail on the head. But Trainspotting, to me, is probably one of the most overrated movies I've ever seen because I couldn't connect. I mean, you can have all the cool shots and cool edits you want in a movie, but if you can't connect and can't follow these characters continuous throughout the... I don't know how long this movie... It felt really freaking long, though. But, I mean, if you can't connect with them, what's the point? You know what I mean? All that's for nothing. So, but yeah, I'll leave it at that. That's why I think so.
All right. Well, great third round. I like the rebuttal in this because you basically have to like cheer for the other person's movie.
Yeah, you kind of right.
You kind of have to like, yeah, you know what? Screw you. Your movie was great. Like, you know, but
that's why this one was interesting. It's the opposite of what we always do.
Yeah, your movie was nominated for so many Oscars.
Yeah.
So look, it has to be good.
Do you guys like Requiem for a Dream? Though?
I like Requiem.
I love that movie.
I think it's good. I think it's like.
It's weird, but
it trips you out. That's
depressing
why
as hell.
I like watching
mostly
that
why I
movie
like
because
that movie.
Has everyone
trips
seen
you
it?
out every time.
I've never seen it.
Oh god!
But you can ruin it. Like,
okay, Jared Leto's like they're all junkies and shit, and the movie picks up with each of the characters like one final like here's where they all are at the end of the movie, and his arm was infected, and he wakes up and his arm's just cut off. Like
It follows the
like
addictions of 4 people over like the course of a year. It's
I think not to take too long, but I think
Jared
there's more empathy thrown into that movie than Trainspotting because you're supposed to just hate these
I
characters.
like it better than Trainspotting.
They're supposed to be just piece of shit characters. Going through their addiction.
I think they make Trainspotting slightly more entertaining because
with
Requiem,
your rebuttal is done.
But when we're talking about Requiem for a Dream, like it's just the characters. Like that is so art house. Like they're looking at each other and like, what are we gonna do after we get high? What are we gonna do while we get high? And then it just continues. They get high and then they do stuff. Like,
but Requiem has that 6 score by Clint Mansell.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah,
it's so.
Mansell,
I'm so creeped out when it's the creepiest part for me is like when they focus on Jared Leto's mom.
Yeah.
Like
the
whole
shock therapy at the end.
Oh my
fucked.
All
god!
right.
Sorry. We're off
Therapy
track.
schmerapy, as I always say. All right, let's tally this up here and find out who the winner is.
You might have to add it.
All right, round 3 is determined. Now, Trace, you've got 2 wins.
I do.
This episode already. Do you think you have the 3-0? That'd be the first one ever.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's. I thought this is probably my favorite discussion-based back and forth one. So, I mean, I don't feel like if I came out with a loss that I'd feel disappointed because I thought we had a good discussion. But I mean, I think I feel good about what I at least gave out. So.
What about you, Franco? What do you think?
I think I'm owed a win. No, I'm just kidding. I think it was a great conversation, and I think Trace and I we could have picked a lot of different films, and
for sure.
we picked 2 films that we both think are overrated, and it was just good. It was good. I mean, either way, win or lose, it's great to talk about movies in these debates. So.
For sure. Yeah, I agree. And yeah, with this topic, a lot of these topics are definitely opinion based, but this definitely is opinion based. But
for sure.
I think you guys both did a pretty good job for a tough category. But the winner is going to be Franco.
Yeah, you stole it.
And here's why. You literally all you had to say, like, in my opinion, is Boyhood took 12 years to make, and if it didn't have that like hype behind it, that movie would have sucked. Hands down, in my opinion. And I'm the judge, so my opinion matters. But like it was nominated for a couple Oscars, you said, didn't win. How can you hype a movie for 12 years and not back it up with, like, awards?
Because it was going up against what? Like,
Birdman?
Birdman?
Well,
Yeah.
it was a
but-
secret project, too, in its
Still,
defense.
like,
Can't leave them defending
In
it, but-
Trainspotting, I mean, both these movies technically could be relatable. I mean, I think maybe Boyhood more than Trainspotting, but, like, Trainspotting has higher ratings, so obviously there can't be too much hype. I mean, people do like the movie, you know what I mean? And like you said, the editing and whatnot, directing isn't honestly the worst. And I think Franco just argued a little bit better for Boyhood, and that
It's fair. I
to
think it's
me did it. So that concludes our third round and our third match of the first round of the
fair. We
tournament.
got one more
So
left.
Yeah, just one more. That'd be Taylor and Sierra. Correct. Okay. And then Trace, you do move on. Didn't get the 3-0, but congratulations. Anyways, you are going to be going against
Kaylin. Oh,
Kaylin.
man, I'm gonna hate that.
It's gonna be 3-0 is too elusive.
The Dragon of the West
Yeah.
versus the Cows.
It'll be entertaining.
It'll be good. Anyways, Movie Munchers, until next time, again, like, subscribe. Share. We're getting up there with our subscriptions. I like that.
56, baby.
56.
Holy shit.
So, yeah, tell your friends. Make sure to check the link below for the tournament bracket so you can check that out. And just let us know how we're doing. Let us know if there's anything we can improve on. We just like the feedback, essentially.
For sure.
So, anyways, Movie Munchers, till next time.
SoundCloud.com/EOTH podcast.
Titans.